The children now love luxury. They have bad manners, contempt for authority, they show disrespect for elders, and love gossip in place of activity. Ask any parent today how they feel about their children, or the new generation for that matter. They will say something along these lines. Well, Socrates had the same idea as this was said by him in 400 BC. For as long as history is recorded, older generations have felt a disconnect with newer ones. Today, this generation gap has become so broad that it is affecting communication and mutual understanding within families, causing a rift in relationships. As a child, I have too many memories of staying up late waiting for my parents to come home in hopes that I would get to spend time with them. Too many concerts left unattended. My parents were, of course, working hard to make their place in a new country as immigrants. However, after coming home from work, there was barely enough time to spend communicating with children. In Canada, 37% of households who has children between the ages of 6 to 17, both parents work full-time. Parents are exhausted after a full day of work, so much so that it becomes difficult to come home to spend time with their children. Although it is commendable that parents are making many sacrifices to earn a living, it is at the expense of neglecting their children. Furthermore, as children receive less attention and time to spend with their parents, they are less inclined to share important and major parts of their life, which is the beginning of the generation gap. This gap becomes wider as children grow and become teenagers, questioning everything surrounding them. Whenever instructed to perform a task, teenagers commonly ask the question, why? When these questions get answered with a common answer, because I said so, teenagers rush to make assumptions that are not true. They may think that parents don't give them the keys to the car because they don't trust them, when in reality it is because they are worried their children may get into an accident. However, when this is not communicated, many misunderstandings may arise, which is why parents need to see these questions from a perspective of curiosity, rather than the children questioning their authority. Moreover, parents often enforce strict expectations to ensure that their children succeed. Tiger parenting is a common parenting strategy used especially in immigrant households. It is defined as a parent who puts extreme expectations and pressure on their children in terms of academics and extracurricular activities. In a recent long-term study, 4 parenting profiles were studied, including Tiger parenting. The study found that children with supportive parents and families showed the best socio-emotional adjustment, the least amount of alienation from their parents, and generally had a better connection to family than the other parenting profiles. This makes clear that parents who are unreasonable in their expectations for their children have a larger gap than those in supporting households. Thus, misunderstanding and miscommunication, in addition to parents wanting to control their child's activities, are a large cause for the formation of the generation gap. In order to bridge this gap and rebuild relationships, both parties need to put in considerable effort. The first step is realizing the importance of open communication, which is the key in bridging the gap. Open communication helps both parents and children to feel loved and respected. It also helps both children and parents to understand and sympathize with each other when conflicts do arise. The next step is for parents to allot specific time to be with their children and give them the attention and care they need. Similarly, children should also be more inclined to share their life and consult their parents for major decisions. This will show respect for their parents' opinions and will help ease the feeling of being left out of their child's life. This type of open communication will allow parents to know what their children like the most and avoid forcing them into cages of expectation. In closing, the relationship that parents have with the children is truly a special one. However, the broadening generation gap is disrupting this special relationship and will have negative effects on families. Closing the gap is not easy. It requires individual growth and cooperation from all members of the family. However, by putting in the effort, we can start building a bridge to close the distance.